Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the TBS webinar on our online summer courses. Today, we're going to be talking to Tiffany Colombie. Hello, Tiffany.
Hello.
Who's coming to join us to talk about her course in Consumer Behaviour. Her course is going to be running from the 6th of July to the 22nd of July in our course cycle 2, and will be taught at 1:15 CEST. So please feel free to look at the time that applies in your time zone. So we're just going to ask Tiffany a few questions about her course to give you guys a bit more of an idea of what to expect and why to sign up. Is that all right by you, Tiffany?
That sounds great to me.
Perfect. Well, why don't we start by a little introduction to the course? What are the 3 key points that the students should know?
Should know or will learn?
Should know about the course to start with.
What they should know about the course. Well, first of all, it is a consumer behavior class, but it will be concentrated on the tool of using music as a marketing tool. And I think that it's so interesting today because of the fact that, for example, big data is utilized in streaming. I think that it's important to understand how behavior, how we're influenced because of the promotion of music in every aspect of what we watch and what we see today. And I think that it's very interesting because we don't realize how much we are influenced, because you have to think, imagine an advertising that doesn't have any music behind it, and how when there are songs or certain music that we hear, like classical music with a brand, you become very aware of the fact that they've been promoting this brand based on the music. And I think that today it's very important for a lot of marketing communication students to understand how powerful that tool is and how to utilize it. For me, I used to work in advertising, and I just want to give a quick example. There was a band, the band's name was Spoon, S-P-O-O-N. It's an alternative rock band, and they were unknown until actually they did a commercial. They did a commercial for Jaguar, and it was amazing. It was one of those, you watch the car, you hear the music, and you think, that's what I want to be driving. And they became so famous within the alternative rock music genre. And I think that it's amazing. It's a great thing to understand in terms of how to utilize certain types of promotion tools, and to understand why we are influenced by this kind of behavior, because the more you watch, the more you hear, the more you understand that it really influences us to a certain brand.
That's right. Well, that sounds fascinating. Thank you for explaining that. Could you give us an idea of what kind of course, what kind of student you're looking for in this course? What student are you directing the course at?
I think that it would be for students who are really interested in advertising and marketing and communications, because I think that no matter what the brand or product or service that you will be working for, I think that it's important to understand that understanding consumer behavior and how music creates an impactful experience. And so I think that students should have the basic knowledge, but then also have a little bit advanced skills in terms of how to utilize certain tools, especially when it comes to online, online promotion.
Okay, and for example, if a student, if we have a participant that's already finished their university years and are interested in learning more about advertising or consumer behavior, do you think this course would be right for them?
Oh, totally. I think that most students, because if we really think about it, it's always interesting to understand the psychology of consumer behaviorism, but also I think for all of us, we're all tied to the fact that I can't imagine anyone saying I don't appreciate music. And for me, I think it's an interesting course because I don't even talk about just music in a certain sector, but it's all different genres, and as well different cultures, and how music from different cultures influences us. So I think that it would be an interesting course for anyone who misses watching, who wants to watch, different types of videos, even because I do introduce a lot of different music that some students may not know of.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for the clarification. So this course is also suitable for young professionals who want to be able to offer more skills and put them on their CV for any future career in that area, or within a company to have those extra skills.
Totally. Yes, totally. Because I think that when you're introduced to, because I think that a lot of times we're not exposed to a lot of different types of music from other countries. And I think that to be able to say, you know what, now I see that there are certain genres of music that actually influence young, or even, it influences all different types of people in different target markets. And I think that it's important to understand that, what is it that other people are listening to, because that is part of the identity of that particular culture as well.
That's right. And one of the interesting things about this course is that we'll have students tuning in from all over the world. So they'll be able to work together on different projects, whether it be from Australia to Canada, to Colombia to Egypt, or Germany to Spain, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. So I just had another question about the methodology of the course. What kind of methodology we'll be using, and how did you adapt it? Is it more kind of practical, theoretical? How did you adapt the course to the online setting?
Well, I think that my course would have been, it's of course interesting on both platforms, but I do think that online is great because most of the tools that the students will be using will be a learn by practice kind of thing. And a lot of times I have activities after each session where students will have to do an activity using platforms like Instagram and Spotify. And, I have them doing these different things where I think it's important to know how to use it and how to, become not an expert, but at least be a little bit savvy on these applications.
Yeah, that's a skill for any of us to have in this day and age.
I really believe in a learn by practice approach. So we'll see.
Brilliant. Well, that's how most of us learn best anyway, isn't it?
Yes.
Another question, what would you say are the skills that the students will expect to have acquired after the course?
I think that one of the things that to me has been very interesting is that you understand how certain behavior is approached so that you're seeing how music influences the masses. And I think that to understand how to use music as a tool is how to create an experience that could be much better. So, yeah.
That's great. And lastly, what evaluation criteria will you be expecting to use on the course? What are you looking for when you're evaluating the students in terms of what they've acquired and what they'll be presenting in their final projects?
What I'd like to do is the criteria would be basically based on a lot of the different types of activities that they will be participating in. I think that it's important that even though it is online, that I would like to see a lot of participation and questions. Please ask questions that's going to stump me at times, because that this is where you really learn, and we'll learn from each other, especially when there's a lot of different cultures that are together. And then there will be a final presentation. So there will be many activities, but then there will be a final presentation, and it will be by group, probably 2 to 3 students, depending on how many are in this in this course. And then what I would like is to find out with these presentations, you know, basically trying to promote a certain type of artist, and there will be, I will explain it more, of course, when the course is happening, but the final presentation will be the major criteria of evaluating the student.
That sounds great. And so the students, in order to prepare this final presentation, will be getting extra tutoring with you. So there'll be 10 two-hour sessions every day from Monday to Friday during the days of the course from the 6th to the 22nd of July. But in addition, you'll be you'll be doing tutoring in groups so that the students feel more prepared and can ask all their questions in that kind of smaller setting as well for the final presentations.
Right. Yes, there will be. And it's great because that's the moment where there are a lot of questions in terms of choosing and participating and how to promote. And I think that it makes the course a bit more dynamic and intimate when I'm able to work with different groups in different sessions.
Fantastic. That sounds a great setup for the course. So I just had one last question. Is there a one song that is your favorite that you listen to often on streaming?
Okay, so if we were to choose, that's a very nice question, Naomi. Thanks for preparing that. You know what? I'm a child of the 80s, so I do love 80s music, and I'm always listening to it, even just as nostalgic. It is nostalgia. But currently, I would say that the musician that I really am digging at the moment is Harry Styles. Shout out to
Harry
Shout
Styles.
out to the 80s people, yes. And he has a new.
He's not a child of the 80s.
No, he's not. But wow, he's great, and he has a new video out. It's been out for like a couple days now, but it's called Watermelon Sugar, and it's amazing. I love him.
Okay, well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Is there anything that you'd like to add? Any comments anything I haven't covered that you wanted to say?
No, I don't. But one thing I do want to talk about really quickly is that I think that, everyone has a passion. Everyone has passions, and I think that if there was one thing that I could share with the students is that the passion that I have towards music. And I think that when we are passionate about something, we're able to promote it very well, and to be able to participate in terms of how the global trends work. I think that this is why you see so many people working in certain industries, and they really love promoting music. And I think that it's great, and and I think that my course, it shows how powerful and impactful music can be. But then, I also talk about a little bit of the dark side as well, because I think it's important to understand both sides.
Thank you for adding that. I think that was really helpful. Certainly fill in a few pieces for the students listening to this. So thank you very much. Thank you, Tiffany, for taking the time to talk to us today. It's been brilliant to have you as our guest speaker on this webinar. And students, don't hesitate to go out and apply for Tiffany's course that will be running from the 6th to the 22nd of July. We hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.